All right, it is the summer series wrap up, fall series TBR. I do this every quarter. If you're new here, and yeah, I'm a series reader, and this just helps me remember what I'm juggling and what I want to focus on, so that when I make my monthly TBRs, I know what I'm pulling from. So yeah, let's get into it. I think I made some pretty good progress. We'll first start with things that I mentioned in my summer video that I did not get to. First, I said I would continue in the world of the White Rat, which I still plan to do. This is T. Kingfisher's world with a bunch of fantasy romances in it. I've read Swordheart and the duology, the Clockwork Boys duology, but I haven't read the Paladins yet. I don't remember. Is it called just the Paladins? I don't know. The next 4 to 5, whatever books. And I still think I might tentatively get to that in the fall. So tentative, maybe fall TBR. But I've been reading a lot of other T. Kingfisher, so it's not like I haven't been continuing to read T. Kingfisher's backlog, because so far, even though like these things are in a series, T. Kingfisher writes a lot of like standalone stories, so I've just been like trying to make sure I keep reading them when I want to. So I have read Seventh Bride, and I have read started Sorceress Comes to Call, so it's not like I'm not reading T. Kingfisher. So this is like, if I'm in the mood, I will do that. And then the other one I brought up that I think I'm just punting it to 2025. It's not happening this year, and that's The Wolf by Leo Carew. I don't think I'm in the headspace, and I have a lot of beefier things I want to get to, so I want to give it its best shot in the new year, where it's like, oh, it's time to start things, energy, and stuff like that. So I don't think that's happening, and also I think I have some friends who might tentatively want to buddy read it with me, and I think that might be a very good buddy read series. So yeah, those are 2 things I mentioned in my summer video that when I was looking back, I was like, oh, I did not do that, which is okay, because it happens. Wait till we look at the series that I meant to start in 2024. I usually only bat 500 on those at most. Next up, let's talk about one that I caught up with. This is the Journalist Alchemist series, which starts with Middle Game. I did read Tidal Creatures this summer. That was in the plans, and I did it, and I liked it. Didn't love it as much as Middle Game. Was not as disappointed as I was with Seasonal Fears, so we'll take it. I will still tentatively read anything else that comes out in this series, but as of now, reading that, I am caught up. I don't think I will go back and try and catch up, though, with the middle grade children's book series that is published for adults. At least it's always in the adult section when I went shopping for it. It's like the in-world kids books, like the in-world Wizard of Oz books. And like I read the first 2 of those and I didn't really love them, so I kind of sort of just like DNF'd that series. And I think I'm still going to continue to do that unless like I become obsessed. Because I think that's a fun thing if you're like obsessed, seeing like the interconnections and things like that, but I think I've liked the contemporary setting more. Now things that I have continued, and this next 4 to 5, I'm hoping to actually finish in the fall. So we're being a little ambitious. Like, I think I can do it, but I normally don't go, I want to finish these things. But I think I have a lot of series that I'm pretty much like, I only have the last book left, or the last 2 books left. I'm just like, well, I guess fall is going to be finishing series, which is what, I think is a nice time to do that. Starting with, of course, Stormlight Archive. I read Oathbringer and Dawnshard this summer, as was the plan. Soonish, I will read Rhythm of War. And then December 6th, which is still for me fall, because I do, this video is coming out earlier than it normally does, just because of, scheduling and timing. But I usually say, fall starts around, the September 20th or 21st. Same winters, December 20th or 21st. So I'm going to read all of Stormlight in the fall, barring life in upheaval. It's happening. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a very, 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 very cozy reread. We did just have an Oathbringer discussion on my channel with Roger, Stephanie, and Jesse. I don't know why my brain's just gone. But it was fun. I have become an Oathbringer apologist, which is weird. I totally, don't think it's good. In terms of, it's too long. It's a book that is too long and it is awkwardly paced. I cannot explain how much I loved it this time and why that's changed, other than rereading. You just get more comfortable with the pacing, so the wonky pacing, I guess, is less of a side effect when you're rereading. But you shouldn't have to reread a book for it to be good. That said, I have reread it now twice, and I love it. It's pretty great. It's like my Well of Ascension of Stormlight Archives. It just keeps giving, which Well of Ascension was not my favorite when I first read Mistborn. Okay, next up, Terra Ignota. I did read The Will to Battle this summer, like I wanted to. I actually finished it on July 4th, which it felt relevant. Like a lot of the philosophizing that's in these books is from like the era of revolution and independence. So that felt fitting. And also it's just, about freedom and what's that mean. So reading that on July 4th, which is, American Independence Day. It was pretty cool. And I need to read the last one, which I'm hoping to maybe at least start in September, but I'm for sure starting it after you see this video. I have not picked it up yet. It's actually right next to me. It is very thick. It is very, very intimidating to me. But I only have one book left, so it feels doable. I also started my reread of the Burning Kingdoms trilogy. So I really love this trilogy. I scream about it all the time. It starts with the Jasmine Throne. The last book comes out this November. So exciting. So exciting, guys. I love the Burning Kingdoms trilogy so much. I've read the Jasmine Throne 3 times now. This past reread was no exception. Love it. There's just a complexity to the characters in it that I just really adore. The audiobooks are really good too. So if you're an audiobook person, try it out. It's really fun. I love the voice acting in it. But for me, it's been a fantastic experience with my eyeballs or with my ears. There's not one that the only reason I think I did audiobook this time is I really wanted to knit. So it was something that was really fun and engaging to do while I was knitting. It was great. So I just love it. And the third one's coming out. Don't sleep on this. It's going to finish and I bet it's going to stick the landing. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. We're buddy reading that actually in my Patreon. So people are still reading the first book this month because we did September for Jasmine Throne. Oleander Sword is going to be October, and then November is when the Lotus Empire comes out. And I do already have an arc, but I really like the audiobooks, so I don't know if I want to wait, to get the audio. I don't know. The next one that I actually, I didn't even put it on any of my reading plans this year, but then I did a video project in the summer where I was reading 3 books that I did say that if I didn't read them on my TBR, they would explode. And one of them was the second book in the Chilling Effect series, Prime Deceptions, which I read. It was very fun. There's this cat that's psychic that went on the adventures with them. I don't know if you knew that you needed an animal companion in space trope, but I didn't know I needed it, and it was pretty great. So I hear Mallet has another role in the 3rd book. There's always those slight pop culture references that are really fun in it. It's just a good time. So I only have 1 book left, so I would like to finish it when I need just a light read, a light adventure time. So I think I could do that. And then the only other one that I might finish, and that's only if I actually commit to this. So a lot of peer pressure has happened where a bunch of people have started to read Nine Fox Gambit in the Discord, which is Machineries of Empire, one of my favorite sci-fi space operas of all time. And I tentatively also want to be rereading it with people. That said, things are a little hectic right now. I don't think it's one that I can do with an audiobook, and my physical reading time is at a premium. So we'll see if I actually make the time for it and if it fits in. But if I start the series, right now I've only read the first chapter of the first book, and I'm somewhere in the 2nd chapter right now. So if I actually finish the first book, I will actually finish the series, hopefully in the fall, and if not, into the winter, I would assume. I really love that series. It's just such a wild time. It uses math to do its science fiction. And what I think is really interesting is that it's actually a very colorful and vibrant science fiction, but the author has aphantasia, just kind of like me, which is when you can't visualize when you read. So I just think it's really cool. I really like its discussion on war and empire and control and how you choose to be a participant. It's a fascinating series. It's fascinating. And General Jadao and Cheris are just everything to me. I just love their interactions. And then the last thing that has really been I've been doing great with this series this year, and that's the Vorkosigan Saga, which I'm a broken record on this channel. I think I've been reading it for a year and a half now. It's fantastic. I'm having a blast. So this is by Louise McMaster Bejoled. I feel like everyone's been reading Mercedes Lackey, which one day I want to try her. I've been reading Bejoled. That's what I've been doing in terms of older sci-fi fantasy by women that people have overlooked, but there are these long-running series. I feel like I'm with a different author at the moment. And I'm having such a fun time. So my plan was to read at least Brothers in Arms. I read Brothers in Arms, Mirror Dance, and Memory. I was doing good. And those aren't the short ones. This is probably the most Vorkosigan I've read in a quarter, and they are the longest books so far. At least Brothers in Arms was a normal length, but Mirror Dance and Memory were both the 500 page mark. And yeah, I want to keep going. I don't know what the next one is. I think it's Kamar, which is interesting. Ooh, I'm interested. So yeah, I would just love to keep going. My goal is always at least one. But 1 or 2 is usually what ends up happening. I don't know what number book I'm on. I have no clue. I think I'm in the home stretch. I think I will probably finish this within 6 months to a year. Because I have this suspicion that once I get near the end of the series, I'm just going to be like, I need all the books. I just want to finish it. You know, that like, I don't know, there's just kind of this activation energy that once you get over this hump, I'm like, yeah, now I just want to like full steam ahead, finish this out, see where it ends. So yeah, if it ends, I think it ends. I don't think it's still ongoing, but the nature of Vorkosigan Saga is that like you can have several resting points. And if the author has an idea that they want to continue exploring with one of the characters, I assume she can just always write another one. But I have the impression that she hasn't played around in this world in a while. So who knows? But it's been a blast, and I'm very happy with this just like random recommendations that happen in my Discord and the peer pressure of doing it. It's like the most fun, casual buddy read. It's like just happened so organically. I have no control over it. I just like open channels, people read it when they read it, and then I get like really like I want to hit the boxes, and then I start reading it. It's great. I also have, the audiobooks have really grown on me. Like, for a while, it didn't, and that's probably because the first 2 books in the series are Cordelia, and it's still a male audio voice, and I just like, it's like, no, Cordelia needs to have my audio narrator, my internal brain, because I guess I sub-vocalize when I read. So it's like, I read it with my eyes, and then I get an audio, and then it gets processed, you know. It's very inefficient. It's very inefficient, but, you know, I enjoy it, and I wouldn't change it. So here we are. So that's my brief check-in. I'm excited. We will see if I'm successful. I honestly have a lot of faith in myself. A lot of these are like high fun, high priority. And yeah, it's been an interesting year because it's been very reread focused, but honestly, that's where most of my joy is coming from. So just gonna lean into it. What are your series plans for the fall? What's like your top priority series? And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, the Burning Kingdom trilogy, fire. Let's do fire emoji. Otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.